Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. It is Halloween today, so happy Halloween to everybody out there. Hope everybody has a great holiday. It is very cold for your Halloween across the United States, and one of the coldest Halloweens in recent memory as we have freeze warnings extending all the way up into western Pennsylvania and Ohio, all the way back through Texas and portions of Arizona and southern New Mexico as well, with freeze watches even extending further to the east toward the Carolinas through today as well. Looking at the freezing line this morning, it has made progress further off to the south and east that we were talking about yesterday. It's going to continue to move off to the south and east, and it has done so. It is down to 34 degrees into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 35 in Shreveport, 31 sub-freezing low temperature there into Nashville, and it is below 30 degrees into portions there of the Pittsburgh region waking up this morning. So if you were heading out the door for work or school or anything like that this morning, make sure to bundle up because it's cold, and it certainly is very cold up in the Dakotas and eastern Montana, where temperatures are actually single digits below zero this morning. And this doesn't even factor in the wind chill value. So definitely very cold. Those areas will be warming up only to the mid 20s this afternoon, and the rest of us behind that front will be in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So it'll be a nice, crisp fall afternoon for Halloween out there. So make sure if you're going trick-or-treating this evening that you do wear layers because it will be very cool out there. The only warm spot in town is really down into Florida here. If you live in Tampa Bay, down toward Miami, Daytona Beach, you are in luck this afternoon because temperatures will be into the middle and upper 80s with some warmer conditions throughout Halloween. But if you like detailed weather breakdowns on North America and the tropics, you get that right here on Weather on the Go, so make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It is absolutely free to do. And like I said, you get these detailed weather breakdowns right here on this channel. Be sure to press the thumbs up button as it helps to get all of this weather information passed along to more and more people. I definitely appreciate it. Well, going through today, not only is the cold weather the big story, we are watching a clipper system that is moving out of the northwest flow from Canada down here through the Great Lakes region, and it is pretty strong circulation as well, showing up on the 500 millibar vorticity. This is your mid-level spin right over southern Lake Michigan here this afternoon. So you can see this morning we got scattered snow showers across portions of Wisconsin and portions of the Lake Michigan shoreline there from Green Bay down through Milwaukee and the northern Chicago suburbs. As we go into this afternoon, that will start to move its way off to the south and east, so areas across northern Illinois, Michigan, through portions of Indiana and western Ohio, we'll start to see those scattered snow showers and snow squalls, as well as some very gusty northwesterly winds will be moving in as well with these snow showers. So visibility restrictions will be possible. And look at these gustier winds. These are wind gusts that could be over 40 miles per hour in these green shaded colors across eastern Iowa into the Illinois Valley down here toward Peoria, Illinois. So make sure if you live across those areas, if you have any holiday decorations out for Halloween, to bring those in or kind of secure those as much as you can, because we will be seeing those 40 plus mile per hour wind gusts this afternoon with those snow showers. Then as we head into this evening, for trick-or-treating, we're going to see those scattered snow showers continuing, but we're going to see those pushing further off again toward the east. So into Ohio there, western Pennsylvania, the Buffalo region, into New York. We're going to start to see more of that as we head into this evening. But overall, for trick-or-treating, besides the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region, it is a-okay. We got strong high pressure in control across the United States, so most of us should remain dry for trick-or-treating activities as we go into this evening. Overall, though, the total snowfall accumulations through the next 24 hours, we could be getting a little bit of some snowfall on those grassy surfaces, up to an inch across portions of the Badger State of Wisconsin. Other than that, we're really not seeing too much in the way of snowfall here at least on the pavement. But again, there could be an inch, maybe 2 inches, a couple isolated spots in those grassy surfaces. So make sure that if there is any slushy accumulations on the roadways, that you do take it slow, as this is our first true snowfall up here across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region of the season. In the wake of the Clipper system to start November, tomorrow on Wednesday, November 1st, we're going to still see that cold air in place. It's going to be locked in place across the southeast. Areas that aren't cold quite yet, like the Carolinas and Georgia, will be as we head into your Wednesday, and then more near normal to above normal temperatures for the West Coast during the middle of the week there. That will start to translate further east by the end of the week on Friday, November 3rd. Portions of the Plain States and the Midwest will begin to trend above normal, with our temperatures getting toward the very end of this work week. And if you like the warmer temperatures, you're going to love this forecast, because this weekend into next week, those warmer than normal temperatures for November standards will actually continue for portions not only out west, but the southern plains and the southeast, and to some extent the Midwestern and Ohio Valley regions as we go into this weekend and next week. So that is a nice welcome sign for anybody still holding on to hope for some warmer temperatures before we get into true winter weather. And you can see this weekend coming up on Saturday, November 4th, those warmer temperatures will be there. 58 in Chicago, 55 in Milwaukee, same thing over there into Detroit, 60s down there into St. Louis, and further south toward the Gulf Coast and down towards Dallas, Houston, over there towards Gulfport. Those areas could be seeing those mid and upper 70s for your Saturday afternoon. And that means our overnight lows going into Saturday night will be much higher. So we'll be seeing lows in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I'll tell you what, that is not too shabby for early November standards across the United States. And then we'll do it all over again as we go into Sunday, November 5th, with more of those 50s, 60s, 70s, and who knows, maybe some lower 80s possibly showing up here from the Lake Charles region down there through portions of Houston and even the Corpus Christi region, getting into the low 80s for your Sunday afternoon. It will remain active, though, over the top of that high pressure. Underneath of it, we're going to be seeing some drier conditions, but over the top, very active northwest flow. These clipper type systems that come out of the Pacific Northwest, they move up and over top of that high pressure ridge and into portions of southern Canada, and then dive down across the Great Lakes region into towards the east coast. This could provide some chances for some showers, some thunderstorms, maybe some snow showers if the temperatures do work out in that favor. So we'll definitely watch that into next week. And here's the overall total rainfall accumulation map for you now through November 10th. And you can see where it will be and where it will not be active. And it certainly will not be active across the Four Corners region or the Southern Plains very much for the first 10 days of November. Very dry down there with that high pressure in firm control. But it's going to be very active almost on a daily basis across the Pacific Northwest there, Seattle, down through Portland and northern portions of California, over there toward Idaho, into Montana, into Wyoming, and then over the top through the northern plains, the Midwest, and towards the Great Lakes, and especially the Northeast too. It will be quite wet for the first 10 days of the month of November. Looking at the snowfall footprint here, again, it's November, so we'll be waiting and watching for the snowfall up to the north to make its way further to the south slowly but surely, and it looks like it's going to remain to the north, and those ski resorts across the Pacific Northwest will be loving this forecast, with more than a foot of snow in a lot of those areas as we go through the first 10 days of the month of November. And that's on top of all the snowfall they have seen already up to this point. So we're going to be adding on to those totals we just saw from last week and adding another couple of feet there into portions of Montana, into Wyoming, in towards Idaho and the Pacific Northwest, even up into British Columbia there, and those higher elevations. A couple feet of snow is on the way for the next 10 days of November. Transitioning over to the tropical weather update, it is still hurricane season, believe it or not, in the Atlantic Ocean basin here. It is turning into November. We are nearing the end, though, of the hurricane season. Usually, the end of November and toward early December does mark the end of hurricane season in the Atlantic Ocean basin. But before we get to that point, we have another system to keep an eye on. The odds are increasing. The National Hurricane Center increasing the odds to a 70% chance of development. This is currently in the Eastern Caribbean, and this will be pressing westbound as we go through the next few days. And you can see here the visible satellite imagery does show Invest 97L across Eastern Caribbean Sea there, and that will be pressing its way off to the west over the next several days. And here is the intensity guidance to give you an idea of how strong this may or may not get. A lot of the guidance is showing this as a mid-grade or stronger tropical storm. A couple models bring this up to a category 1 hurricane, and then we have an outlier that completely goes all out in producing a category 4 hurricane. Now that is an outlier, so we aren't really paying attention to that guy right now. Most of the models are showing a stronger tropical storm and maybe even a borderline category 1 hurricane. So that's kind of what we're looking at as we go towards this weekend. So tracking this here, the EPS Ensemble members, this is your European Ensemble guidance this weekend, has that center of low pressure just to the east of Central America there in toward the Western Caribbean Sea. So we'll continue to watch that. Lots of heavy rain, some storm surge down here, depending on how strong this storm does end up being. It will be a possibility. And you can see the GEFS Ensemble, the American Ensemble guidance, is in the same ballpark as well as we go into this weekend. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And this is concerning because the Caribbean hasn't had a lot of tropical activity this season so far, and these water temperatures are running the warmest across the Atlantic basin in general. 30 to 31, even some 32 degrees Celsius water temperatures does translate to 80 plus degrees Fahrenheit. So that is easily warm enough for hurricanes to develop in this environment. And you can see it's well above normal. These anomalies are well above zero. So it's above normal sea surface temperatures for the area here. So we're going to continue to watch it moving forward through the rest of this hurricane season. And you can see here towards the end of this month and then toward early November, the first 10 days, we can still see those systems developing in the Western Caribbean. It can still happen, and again, we'll continue to watch it for you folks. No need to panic at all, but there is something to keep an eye on. Likely a tropical storm, but possibly even a low-end hurricane category 1 moving in towards Central America as we go into this upcoming weekend and especially into early next week. Well, if you like detailed weather breakdowns on North America and the tropics like I just provided to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It's absolutely free to do. Press the thumbs up button. That's the like button down below. It helps to get all of this weather information passed along to more and more people. I definitely appreciate it. I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and you can help me do so by subscribing. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I do appreciate that, and it also helps me to get more of this information passed along to more and more people. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I do appreciate that, and I hope everybody has a great and happy Halloween out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.